Welcome to the Healthy Relationships Workshop from the Education Wellbeing Service. My name's Amber. I'm an education wellbeing practitioner in FE colleges. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what a healthy relationship is, relationship types, setting boundaries, and who to talk to about relationships. To start with, I have a short video of young people talking about what a healthy relationship looks like to them.
I'd say a healthy relationship is one that values communication and where everyone involved can be honest with each other and is understanding of each other's emotions, or at least tries to be, where you feel safe to share those emotions.
The healthy relationship would be a man and woman, or man and man, or woman doesn't matter. Just being respectful to each other, communicating well so that there's no misunderstandings.
A healthy relationship is mutual, happy. It's not one-sided.
For me, a healthy relationship would be two people who really respect each other, who are willing to have an open dialogue and open communication. Two people who really care about the needs of the other person. When we're younger, like in junior high, and you kind of are focused on like the romantic ideas of a relationship, your first crushes, oh, I just want this person to like me, and there's no really boundaries. As you get older, you realize that you just want somebody who will respect you and that you can respect and that you can like really be yourself with.
Where they're both happy with the way that they can with the relationship and they both love each other. Open communication, trust, and ability to be yourself.
You know when you're in a healthy relationship because you feel happy to see and spend time with certain people. They could be members of your family, your friends, your workmates, or even a romantic partner. No relationship's ever perfect, and you'll definitely have times when there are disagreements that will rise to the surface. There'll be some frustration, or sort of just disharmony with others sometimes. There are a lot of factors that contribute to, developing and maintaining healthy relationships. And some of the main factors are commitment, trust, respect, and responsibility. Healthy selves equal healthy relationships. I must meet everyone's needs. I should protect the people in my world. I must win the approval of others. I must not let anyone down. I shouldn't have to be perfect. Nobody should get angry with me. Other people are responsible for their own lives and behaviour. If a friend gets angry with me, it should not be the end of the relationship. My opinions have equal importance to those of others. The expectations of others are more important. So have a think, are these statements true or false? And why? You may want to pause the video here. So when does it become friendship? Like, how do you know you're in a relationship? Do you have a conversation with the other person? Do you just ask, are we friends now? And why is it different standards to a relationship? Why is friendship different to a romantic relationship? Whilst there may be excitement and happiness when we're forming new relationships, there can be some anxiety. This might be due to past experiences or the uncertainty of what might happen in future. Worries may be linked to intimacy, inadequacy, so not feeling quite good enough, fear of abandonment, that people might leave, or rejection as well, that somebody that you're building a relationship may reject you. So what do you worry about when you start a new relationship? As mentioned, just now, relationships can really bring uncertainty, and it can be really difficult for those involved to know where they stand. Labels have the potential to bring meaning and clarity to a relationship. For example, being exclusive would mean two people are making a commitment to only see each other. On the other hand, a label like seeing is less clear on what the terms of the relationship are. Some labels may cause feelings of stress, disappointment, or judgment. Are there any other labels you can think of? And are labels helpful? Think about relationships you've had. Do you always know where you stand? It's not always that easy. Labels continued. So would it be okay to date someone else if you believed you were one of these labels? So for example, if you're exclusive, it's okay to date somebody else. If you're girlfriend, boyfriend, is it okay to date someone else? How do you know that your relationship actually has the label? And is it possible to be in a situation where one person thinks, there's a certain label when it's not the same label that you're thinking? So people show affection in different ways, through words, through touch, physicality. Are there any other ways people might show affection? And how do you know whether it's inappropriate or appropriate? Everyone's got different kind of preferences in terms of whether they like somebody to tell them how they feel or tell them that they care about them. Others might prefer somebody to give them a hug, hold a hand. So it's different for everyone, and for one person, what might be appropriate could be very inappropriate for the other. They might not like it. The boundaries are really important because they tell us, what is our sort of line of feeling comfortable, what do we like, what do we prefer, and what would bother us, or what are we not willing to put up with. So boundaries are really important. They tell other people, what we feel comfortable with, and also, let other people let us know what their boundaries are as well. So I want you to just have a little moment to reflect on what feelings you have when you think about setting boundaries with others. And do all relationships, do they have the same boundaries? Is it different boundaries with family versus friends versus intimate partner? And how do you feel when you're thinking about setting boundaries in a relationship? Does it feel easy? Does it feel difficult? And a really tricky one is how you might respond if somebody doesn't accept your boundaries. What might you say if somebody was overstepping your boundaries? So how can you know someone's boundaries? Ask them. We're not mind readers. It's very hard to know what somebody else is thinking. You can guess. You can guess what someone's boundaries are, and you could get it very wrong. So the best way to know is to ask. How can you let somebody know your boundaries? Again, will they just know? Will they be able to just imagine what your boundaries are? Can they guess? Can they read your mind? Probably not. So tell them. The best way for somebody to know your boundaries is for you to tell them what your boundaries are. There are different kinds of boundaries. So you've got physical, mental, emotional as some examples. Physical could refer to being touched or touching others, so hugs, handshakes. Some people might not like hugs, so they might say, I prefer it if you didn't hug me, because I'm not really a hug person. And that's your personal space as well. And it could relate to, if you don't like people coming in and out of your room, for example, your bedroom, it could be that, please can you knock before you come in. That would be a physical boundary. Mental, so yours or another person's thoughts, opinions and ideas. Emotional would relate to like feelings, and what you're comfortable talking about with others. For example, what you'd be comfortable telling your friends about how you're feeling, and what you'd feel comfortable others sharing with you as well. So, for example, it could be a friend is feeling upset and they want to tell you about their emotions, but maybe your boundary would be that actually when somebody does that, it makes you feel really stressed and upset. So you might say it's not really a good time, or could we talk about it when you're feeling a little bit calmer? And that would be setting a bit of an emotional boundary. There's nothing wrong with saying no. It can be hard to say it, but if something doesn't feel right, if it doesn't sit right with you, and if it's not in line with your values or how you like to be treated or what you want to do, then it's okay to say no. You can communicate your feelings without hurting somebody else, and this is a really important thing. So you can use phrases like, when you do X, it makes me feel upset, dismissed. What I need is you to do this, or to be respected, for example. And what I'd like is for you to knock before you come into the room. Now you can ask, and you can let somebody know. They might not always be willing to meet you in the middle or make those changes, but you can still express, what your boundaries are. Would you could ask, would you do this? Would you be able to do this? Or could you do this? So the language is really important in terms of, optimizing the chance of somebody being able to listen to or respond to you. Here's an example of a relationship timeline. So going from just met to 2 years. So there's a range of different activities here. For example, hold hands, go to somebody's home, sleep over. I want you to have a think about what would be your relationship timeline. So when would it be, comfortable for you to hold hands with somebody? When would it be comfortable for you to make them food? Or would it ever be comfortable? So have a think. What would your timeline be? Banter. So have you ever felt annoyed by something somebody has said when they've told you it's just banter? So when do you know when it's appropriate or not appropriate, or if somebody's going too far? And is it okay to say something that's mean or hurtful if you say just joking or it's banter? So what issues can you cause by teasing? Do you know what's going on for that person in their lives, or outside of college? We don't know what's going on for people, and maybe on one day somebody would be okay with that, or they might find it funny, but if they're going through something difficult, that same comment might not be so funny. So it's always good to kind of think about that. It's also important to consider, what is the intention behind the statement? If somebody's intention is just to kind of have, be silly and just they're being quite friendly with it, then, that's different to if they're intentionally trying to embarrass somebody or make them feel bad. Is it being repeated? Has this been said before and caused a bad reaction? And does the person know that this comment is making the other person feel bad? So that kind of changes it from banter to perhaps more, if somebody's aware that it's upsetting someone, hurting someone, they keep doing it, then it could be sort of heading into more bullying territory. So who do you talk to about relationships? Do you talk to your friends? Do you talk to family? Do you talk to, people like online? Do you look online for information, or do you kind of watch shows? Do you get your kind of ideas about relationships from watching like TV shows or reality shows? Who can you talk to about relationships? So you may be able to talk to friends, family, or people in your support network. It could be like through clubs or hobbies and things that you do, or trusted staff members. You may could be like a tutor or support staff that you trust and get on with. Could be student services at college. And the below services offer free advice, information and support. So you've got the mix. It's got a range of support. They do counselling sessions as well for under 25s, and loads of information about relationships and advice. You've got Koof, which is a free, safe and anonymous support service. You can sign up there and make a profile. You can access counsellors anonymously, or you can send sort of messages and get a reply from a mental health practitioner or a counsellor. And Childline as well. They have some really good resources, discussions about relationships, and you can also speak to, if you're up to the age of 18, a counsellor on there. So these are all places if you want to find out more about relationships you can go to. Thank you for listening. I'm just going to leave you with this one final thought. Why is it good to have a healthy relationship?